What's our topic?
Christian education.
Just
Wait,
or just like catching up.
why is Minecraft not? That's awkward. Is it showing now? We are currently. Oh, there we go. Okay, now Minecraft is on the screen.
Can we make the
There we go.
Can we make the name of the stream like Breaking Bad family breakfast to check in on the family?
Breaking Bad family breakfast. I kind of like that. Yeah, I could go and edit that. That's kind of heat.
Breaking Bad family breakfast to check in on everybody.
Hello, family. We are now live. Welcome back to BibleCraft episode 6. Checking in. Just checking in. This week it's just me and Nolan again. Joe is sick. Ben is working, I think.
Joe made up being sick so he didn't have to talk about the Bible.
Joe went, I'm sick. No, I'm kidding. Love you, Joe. But yeah, so tonight it's just me and Nolan. Like you might have just heard when you joined. We're basically just going to be hanging out, catching up. It's going to be a bit of a shorter stream tonight. We're both kind of wiped out a little bit. Both had kind of long days, long weeks. All good stuff, but just, you know, stuff. So tonight will be a bit of a shorter stream. So enjoy it while it's here, and then we'll be done. Shout out Frank. Hello, Beckboy Frank. He's not in the chat yet, but Frank. Hello. Oh.
Stand still.
Here, wait. Try it again. Grab your gravel. Move out of the way. There you go. Now try it. But yeah, so I'm dying. No. Oh. But yeah, so tonight we'll just be kind of checking in, hanging out for a little bit, working on our world, loosely talking about what's going on, but without really much of a set topic. Last week we didn't.
I actually have an opening.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I have an opening question for us this week, but you can finish introing first. It's just kind of a get to know you question.
Yeah, I mean, last week we didn't do BibleCraft. I was only streamed once last week, I think, right?
And even having problems with streams too, so it's been a minute.
Yeah, but Crazy Craft episode 2 will be coming soon. I think I'm recording that tomorrow. We'll see if I get around to it before youth group. Got lots going on and lots to do and discover and see and work on. So busy stuff, but
what's got you busy right now, Jacob?
Lots of stuff going on at church. We announced that our worship director is stepping away at the end of the month for various reasons, and so because of that, now I've had to pick up a little bit of his load, as well as I just launched a young adults group. I'm speaking at a retreat in just a little bit over a week, and I almost ended up speaking at another retreat in a few months, but so I got to finish those messages. I got to finish my message. Well, no, actually, my message for tomorrow night is done. We're talking about Jesus calming the storm, spending some time talking about the Greek word phimou. I don't know how to say it. It's P-H-I-M-O-O, but the second O has like a line over it. But basically, it's the word used when he says, peace be still to the sea. And that's actually a word.
You talk about Greek with your youth group kids?
Occasionally, I'll pull one out. So the reason I'm pulling this one out is because at its root, it's translated muzzle, like to muzzle something. Not necessarily be still, even though that's the context it's used in. But so we're going to talk about, you know, having the faith to muzzle your struggles and muzzle your sins. And so kind of go that route with it. We're currently working through a series on some of Jesus's miracles. It's been a good series. I've really enjoyed studying for it. You know, I've gotten a lot out of it personally.
Is this the start of a whole new series?
No, this is week 3. So every month we start a new series.
Gotcha.
So then, but then next month we're going into our series on spiritual warfare. So that'll be a little bit heavier. So that's also on my plate of needing to do research for and prep for. And then my mom came up for dinner tonight, last minute, which is a long drive for just dinner. So that's where I was. That's why we started a little late. So I sped away from the restaurant, drove a half hour home, and now we're here doing BibleCraft. Yeah.
What was your mom doing that far north?
She just realized that she and my sister, who also lives at home right now, both had nothing going on today. One of they're like a hockey player, junior league housing family, like they're a billet family, if anyone knows what that is. And one of the kids they had last year is now playing up here for the team that's right by me. So it was like a joint visiting me and my wife, and then Anthony. So they just kind of were looking for something to do and decided to drive up and have dinner at a little like local sports bar, and then drive home. But
What's
yeah.
Chloe doing these days since she's not working at the school anymore?
So she was working at camp over the summer, and then that ended up, for various health reasons, she ended up stepping down from that. Right now, she's just at home working on her master's degree, and then working at Olive Garden, which sounds like she's enjoying it. It's about as much as you'd expect someone who works at Olive Garden to enjoy their job. So not at all. But you know, I think it's good for her. Gives her like a chance to kind of do a little reset. You know, she worked at a Christian college for a long time. She got kind of burnt out there because of just random drama that happens with Christians.
Christian universities.
Yeah, sore subject right now. Maybe a topic for another stream. Maybe we'll get into it a little bit. You never know. But yeah, so she's just working at Olive Garden. You know, she doesn't like it, but she's like, I can work for 4 hours and make $200. I said, fair enough. But so I'm actually going to see her again next weekend when I'm speaking at the staff retreat for camp. Because she's still coordinating that until they have someone else to replace her in that capacity. Which I don't think is actually public yet, so I probably shouldn't be talking about that. But YOLO. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on there. Nothing too crazy. But good things again. Just lots of things.
Yep, and that's what fall's like for churches, especially late fall going into Christmas, Thanksgiving season.
Oh, that's the other thing I forgot about. This Friday we're doing our big fall fest. So it's like trunk or treat, cookout at church. And then Sunday after service. So Sunday I'm in kids. And then after service, then we're doing a young adults outing for mini golf and lunch. So it's just lots of things I'm juggling right now. On top of all of my normal stuff, then adding in having to cover for another position until we hire someone.
Mm-hmm. Is he officially like gone now?
November 3rd is his last Sunday. So Janessa is actually at worship practice with him right now, but he had a pre-planned trip this last weekend, so I led worship this past Sunday. So again, everything's like, it's all good things. It's just, you know, a lot of things.
Yep.
But yeah. Yar check-in time.
We just actually finished up my busy season. We did our youth group's fall retreat 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And when you're a church like us who does our, we do our own fall retreat and like do all of our own planning, our own programming and everything for it, which is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And luckily in my position, like I worked with camp ministry a lot, and so planning retreats and stuff comes pretty second nature to me.
Yeah.
But still, that's probably, I think it's just the beginning because it coincides with like the launch of youth group, with rebooking, with doing financial stuff. So it comes at it becomes a very busy season for me when it comes to planning and executing fall retreat.
Yeah. So we're not doing a fall retreat. Our district's conference is first weekend in January. So actually I need to pester all the kids tomorrow about paying me in time. Our due date for payment is the end of the month. So we're like, hey, all of you say you want to go, but I need your money. Classic. But.
And that's when they'll start to drop out.
Yep. W, baby.
How many kids did you take to districts last year?
Last year we brought 6 with. This year we're currently looking at 11.
Oh, nice.
So we're probably going to have to do 4 hotel rooms. Middle school, high school, boys, girls.
Oh, I forgot you guys take middle schoolers to districts.
Yeah.
That's not something my church does. My church, so our version of districts, since I'm in Iowa, our version of districts for the EFCA, which is the organization that I work with.
Mm-hmm. And it actually puts on the districts we go to as well. Funny enough.
Oh yeah. It's just districts up there and it's impacted by us.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the EFCA puts on Impact for us, and our registration for Impact opened like literally today.
Oh, nice.
So I have to got, and last year we only brought 3 kids, and it's a high school only one because we split our districts, high school, middle school, and middle schoolers do theirs in February at Winter Blast, which is just a winter retreat, and then high school does the Impact Conference.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, it just creates more of a need to market well, especially because retreats. Funny enough, where some churches have like a ton of interest for retreats, and like they'll get kids who come to retreats but not youth group. We kind of have the opposite deal in our town where people will go to youth group, but they won't go to retreats.
Which is strange.
Which, yeah, exactly. I think it's more of a because we're from a very religious and conservative area of Iowa. I think Orange City is right near us. It was once voted one of the top 10 most conservative towns in America.
Interesting.
But it's a town where religion and religion and doing churchy stuff is like considered just normal. Like that's just the thing that everybody does.
Yeah.
But what we find that does is we get a lot of kids who like are going to these church programs, but it is like out of an obligation to do so. And so then when like retreats or fun stuff happen, it's like, well, I already went to church one time this month, Mom. Why are you making me go to another one?
Yeah.
Which obviously it's something that we're working on unlearning and like helping to get our kids to almost like
relearn that culture.
It's like, hey, rewind that culture. Here, baby zombie.
I'm currently Enderman hunting in the desert.
But yeah, I think our kids have to unlearn that a little bit. Like, I don't want to say the word deconstruct, but it's something that we almost do kind of have to deconstruct out of them.
Yeah.
It's hey, church is something that you opt into because you're all in, not that you do because it's the right thing to do. I would rather you choose not to attend church than come and say all the right things and learn nothing.
Yeah, church is something
I said that
the first,
and that was even. Yeah, it was something we said I even said the first week. I was like, listen, if you're here just because your parents want you here because you feel like it's the right thing to do, hear this right now. You don't have to be here.
Your parents
like,
might
I'd
say
like you to be here.
but
if you're here, I want you to be all in. And if you're not interested in being all in, then find a church where they'll let you coast. But I'm not going to let you coast.
Yeah. You're here, I'm going to challenge you to grow. Yeah.
Yep. And we're seeing a little bit of challenges and like pinch points for growth that especially just as kids grow, as kids become older adults and as they just get wiser and as they get more experience in life, it's something that we'll see some of those growth points at. Oh, gosh.
I just ran on a whole crowd of creepers. I found one Enderman all night and then didn't drop a pearl.
Oh, gosh.
Spain.
I am in the middle of, I'm very deep in the depths of the earth mining diamonds.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I do not have very much in the way of diamonds.
Yeah, I think I have like 17. Not counting my enchant table or diamond pick. But
I have 1, but I also have diamond helmet, diamond chest plates. And I've got all the stuff I need. But I only have 1 diamond to spare and I still need to craft boots and legs.
Yeah. Don't mind me checking Joe's chest if he has any ender pearls. Yar. Yeah. So when you
Why do you trade with piglins?
Oh wait. I will say that is a good update. But because it's so hard to find.
Yeah, I'm even thinking about stuff that's going on in our youth group right now, which is we're just doing a lot of. We had a vote passed the other day, so we're going to actually build a youth facility in our church.
Nice.
And up until now, we've been meeting like in a house that our church owns. That was the parsonage, which is nice.
Yeah,
had a lot of cool opportunities to do youth group there. If the house had been the expectation, like when I came in and there wasn't a previous culture, we might have even just gone for, hey, this is the youth group house, like this is our youth ministry's like base of operations and where we do everything.
Yeah.
Because of just the, yes, I found a little bit of diamond.
Nice. But it's definitely much better to be able to like have a space that's yours. And if that building wasn't the plan for the youth group long term, then it's good to get something going that can be.
Exactly. And the building, yeah, that building was never a long-term plan. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like I came in and there wasn't a culture of like doing like large group, small group stuff. Like, and youth groups ministry is like super malleable too. And having like a house as an asset is a huge, huge cool thing.
Yeah.
Something I've never done before. I've only run youth groups in a church setting.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, it'll be like a bit of a hard reset for our students, but also a really cool growth point for them too.
Yeah. I was going to say, because it's going to shift things, and you might be able to just say, all right, when we're in this space, like that was something that I started when we first started meeting was like, all right, when we're here at youth group, like, so we meet in the community center. And my line has always been, you know, we're here to have fun. You know, we have a gym that we play games in. We, you know, we sit at this table and we eat dinner together. We laugh a lot. We have a lot of fun. But I set the culture that when you're in the meeting room, which is, you know, just the room that we meet in, it's nothing special. But that when we're in that room, we're serious and we're talking about God and we're talking about real things. And just setting that expectation of, you know, we can have fun, but this space right here, this is for intentional time with God. And just setting that expectation early of, you know, when we're in this room, reset your heart toward the purpose of this room. And I think our kids grasped onto that idea pretty well. Not perfectly, obviously. But I think it was a good... It helps with just resetting that culture so that when you're in the space where you're going to be meeting, you're naturally going to be more serious, which naturally turns things to deeper topics and conversations than they naturally would be. But oh, there goes my
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's exciting. Yeah, we're both in for some really cool seasons of youth ministry coming up. I mean, we're both at this point we're both a year into our job. We both have a year of culture with our churches built up. And last year we started BibleCraft. Last year we both started BibleCraft. We were both super new to our jobs, so we were kind of learning as we were going too.
Yeah,
it's very. I don't know. It's interesting. Right now, so that's on our table right now. Also, we have our annual meeting coming up, and I'm unveiling like our next like big goal for the next year. And our big goal for the next year is just to really push our kids into service. We've been a youth group of fun events for a while, and I think that there needs to be a shift or a change into, hey, we're not just a fun events youth group, we're a serving youth group. Like, if our church's men's ministry can get together and do stuff, then our youth ministry can get together and, like, do service projects for people.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm collaborating with our deacons have a really cool way of just, like, getting service projects together. So I'm working on collaborating with some of our deacons to, you know, just get that built, get that... established as like, hey, we do service projects, like, so this service project is happening. I expect the first one to be a little thinner, but we're also establishing like retreats, like service retreats, and then we're building that into you know, before the new year we're gonna have our church's first mission trip in a couple of years back off the table. And so yeah, it's a culture thing that we're trying to build, because ultimately we're not here to create disciples of fun. We're here to create disciples of Jesus. And fun is cool, but fun also has to come second to that.
Fun with a purpose.
Yep.
That's something that
exactly fun without a purpose.
Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, it's a really clever thing that oh shoot, hang on, I'm in a cave with some creepers.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's something.
Sorry, I'm pinned down in the water with a creeper, and there's skeletons going for me.
No, you're good. I was gonna say it's interesting because both of our cultures where we're coming in are both so different. Whereas, like, you're not fighting against, but you're adapting a program that was pre-existing in a certain way, and you're trying to make it better. Whereas I came into a program that was basically non-existent, and have tried to make something out of nothing. And so it's interesting, like, to hear the, you know, pros and cons of both, where I'm not having to fight against, like, oh, we don't do retreats. Oh, we only do fun events. No, because there wasn't anything. But then you also naturally have a larger group of volunteers and students and just a general larger, oh, we go to youth group environment. And so it's just kind of an interesting, I've enjoyed seeing the contrast over the last years of the, just different things and different areas that we struggle with, but also different areas that our unique context allows for interesting opportunities to share the gospel.
Oh,
It's been
definitely.
fun.
Definitely a ton of like, this is an insane ravine.
Something we should figure out, once you have like a serving weekend sort of thing done, we should look at trying to do something like that together. That could be a good, because I've been
Oh,
trying
that
to
could be
think
really
of
fun.
like a local missions sort of thing. Like I know there's some groups in Minneapolis that you can do like week mission trips to, or
Oh,
weekend
gosh.
mission trips to. And I think that's like, oh, diamonds. I think Minneapolis, literally when I was looking at, like, I was routing between the two of us, is right in the middle of us. But could be an interesting thing to look into down the road once both of our church cultures
Yeah,
are
Minneapolis
a
is
little
in
bit
a,
set.
yeah, Minneapolis has some really cool opportunities to serve. Like I've known youth groups to do like middle school mission trips to Minneapolis. I hate skeletons with every fiber of my being.
Oh yeah, especially in this version, 1.7 skeletons were the peak of aimbot skeletons. Every shot they shoot lands. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's awful. But yeah, youth ministry stuff on my end is it's chilling out. We're doing a series on creation right now. And we are really just hitting a stride with our students. Like we're getting students who are like on one hand, we have students who are maybe newer to youth ministry. Maybe like youth group is something that is super super new to them. But on the other hand, we are getting students who are just like who are so sold out, and we're getting students who are like so ready for like to be called higher into like bigger and better things.
Yeah, which is so cool. I was gonna say that's something that was really encouraging. So with the announcement of our worship guys stepping down, one of the things
Student worship teams.
Yeah, that's something that I've been trying to build over the last, since I got here, was trying to get student-led worship for youth, and for one reason or another, that just kept not forming. But now with that, I've had a couple students step up and be like, hey, I would love to help out in this way. Finally feeling comfortable enough to serve their fellow students in that capacity, which is really cool. And I'm hoping will be, really impactful for, the other students in the group who, are interested in worship but don't really know how to. And right now it might seem like it's more of something that, the leaders do and they're just kind of there. But, student-led worship has been one of my goals since I got here.
That's a good goal.
And so I'm really excited that that's starting out.
I've realized that I need student leadership teams. And like I've taken input from students this year, but it's very different from like a structured student leadership team.
Yeah.
All that said, students like need to have their voices heard, and students need to let their input be heard by other people. So even last year, but at the end of last year's program, before this year's program, I did a big push for hey, we're going to talk to our students and we're going to talk to our leaders. We're going to find out what works and do that, and then finds out what doesn't work and cut it. And that came in a couple different places. I mean, and it was a transition. I mean, we had people who had to grow and adapt to new situations. We had people just step down from volunteering for various reasons.
Yeah.
And ultimately, just youth group looks different now than it did a year ago at this time. And I think that that's for the best. That's a very good aspect of it that's grown.
Yeah. And with any leadership change, it's just naturally going to be that, people, and for better or worse, usually not for, any negative reasons, but oftentimes people will decide to, oh, this is a good time to transition out. Because, the mission that they had bought into, while it might have shifted, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but, they might just not be as passionate about the direction that the youth group is going, and they might feel like they've, done their time, and, they might be just looking to transition out and let someone else who is more currently capable fill that spot. And again, it's not a bad
And we're doing
thing.
a big push for college-aged volunteers. Like we want our college students we want our college students bought into youth group too, not just our kids, not just our adults in our churches. One of those things where it's like we're getting a lot of new college students because the school Dort is right near us, so it's very very convenient to have that school so close.
Yeah.
Oh,
I heard the fear in your voice.
I swam up a waterfall to the top of a massive ravine and immediately got pinged off the top of the waterfall by a skeleton.
Diamonds.
I block clutched.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say that's one thing that we are struggling with is just volunteers. You know, all the volunteers we have right now are awesome. But the nature of our area is that we are in an older area. And so our leaders are just, you know, a little bit older, and the kids all love them. But we're trying to grow our leader team, and you know, there's just not a lot of fish to pull from for the leader team.
Mm-hmm. The nature is like you can't get if you get like a money like older guy or older woman who could like the youth group grandma or the youth group grandpa.
Yeah,
it's like those are always the best volunteers.
Yeah, and so we have a couple of those now. You know, both of the other male volunteers are awesome guys. You know, all of our female volunteers are awesome. You know, it just kind of is. You know, I routinely say our camp weekend. So when we took our kids to camp, all of a sudden we had a horrible stomach bug going on. It was like a 24-hour out both ender, horrible. But then after 24 hours, we were fine. And we would not have been able to make it through camp without one of our female volunteers who, you know, she's, you know, the group grandma. And she just, all right, you're sick. Let's go back to the cabin. I'll get you some meds. I'll sit with you. You know, I'll clean up when you puke. Like, and that's not my strength. Puking is out of my wheelhouse. Sorry, kids. Clean it up yourself, I guess.
Yeah, you throw up, you're on your own.
Yeah, basically. But no, this one volunteer just was so gracious, and we wouldn't have been able to do camp without her. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, you know, we kind of need people who can go out and smash a kid in the face with a dodgeball, too. But, yeah. So that's the interesting thing with our areas. We don't have the college right there. Thank you, Caleb. May the Lord be with you, too. How do you find the channel? But, yeah, so it's been good. But it's been a year. A little over a year now.
Yep.
Because what was your start in Sioux Center?
I started on September 11th. It's almost like it's an omen.
Oh no.
No, I'm kidding. I started on September 11th. So I think I'm a year and a month. So I've been here 13 months now.
Nice.
Which awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really appreciated it. Been very, very well loved and poured into by my senior pastor, and then by other just faithful men in our area, which has been that in itself has been a blessing.
Yeah. And that's something I need to dig into a little bit more. And there's nothing against, you know, my senior pastor or elders or any of that, but just to find some other people to connect with. Again, just because it's a older area.
You're joking.
Oh no, what happened?
I just built a second diamond sword and I didn't need to.
Classic. I was gonna say I found 9
So
diamonds.
upset.
I was gonna do Enderman farming,
Jacob.
but that's so painful. Ooh, diamonds. What?
Can you uncraft my sword for me and I'll throw mine down a well?
Yeah. This was a huge vein I just found.
8 vein?
There you go. How many did I say that I had?
9. You said you had 9.
I'm trying to see if I can find where I looked at my inventory in the stream here. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, no, I just found a huge vein.
That's what's up.
But it was like all the diagonals, so I'm like cleaning out the whole area, like hoping that I didn't miss any.
Also helpful. Yeah, and another thing with youth group that's really fun is we started this second Bible study that happens right after youth group's over called Breakout, which has been absolutely money this year. Like we have high schoolers who like want to go deeper and that haven't really had that chance before.
Yeah.
And so now we have this opportunity for high schoolers to just have this really in-depth, personally created and personally tailored to them Bible study.
Nice. So how does that
and
work?
It has been.
I'm actually very interested in that because I was thinking about doing something similar when you were telling me about it.
So youth group ends at our church at 8, and I've kind of set a culture that I said it, not culture, an expectation. The expectation is if you are hanging out after a youth group, that is awesome and we want you here, but our leaders have to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And so the hard cutoff, like we have said, like, hey, once we hit 8:30, you're kicked out. Like everybody
Yeah.
has to go home.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think our leaders appreciate that.
Yeah. Respect their time.
And yep, that's a good choice. I'll stay there later with students if they want, but we have students who like to stay late and frequently stay late.
Mm-hmm.
And even more, we're seeing more and more students who don't always get the opportunity to connect in ways they really really want to
Mm-hmm.
During youth group. And so a lot of times that like point of connection for them will come like after youth group's over, because I mean, we have a very structured environment. We have a ton of high schoolers and a ton of middle schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, you have to operate with a common denominator of like freshmen
Yeah.
in mind. And I wanted our high schoolers to have an opportunity to and we also like meet in a mixed group. So I really wanted our high schoolers to get a group that was separate from the middle schoolers, where they could like have their own time to talk about their own things that are going on.
Yeah.
And also high schoolers can drive themselves, which is another aspect. So we've kind of created this opportunity for our high school students to stay late at youth group. So from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, that's our breakout study time. So our high schoolers meet for breakouts then. So kind of right at the end of the night, before or after the middle schoolers go home, but before they drive themselves home. And it's just led by me. And if there's a situation where like, because I'm a single dude, if there's a situation where one of our like high school girls is like the only person who wants to stay for it, I'll just tap another leader to sit there for it.
Yeah.
Which has not happened very often. Now we have got a pretty strong like, we've got 4 students who are there like every week at clockwork.
Nice.
So it's less of a problem now, and I can just solo that. And I don't mind being at youth group late. And
Yeah.
so if I can create space for my high schoolers to like, it started out we were just going to do a deeper Bible study of the topic that was being talked about, and that's the default in case something goes wrong.
Here, give me 1 second.
But
My mom is calling and she's just leaving town, so let me make sure they're okay.
this is where Jacob loses all his viewers. Am I right, chat?
Okay, I'm back. Everyone is still breathing.
Good. You were gone for just so long enough to get me worried.
Yeah, it was just my mom wanting to talk more. I said, I'll call you tomorrow. I'm talking to Nolan.
Gotcha.
But
I found 3 zombie villagers while you were gone. Do you have any name
jeez.
tags?
I don't. Because there's not a way to craft them, are there? Or is there?
There's not even regular Minecraft.
Yeah.
Like, technically you can fish them up, but
No, I don't.
my fishing pole has lure 3 on it, and it cost me 30 levels.
Lure 3. Yikes! I
Oh,
have I have stuff to make an efficiency 5 diamond pick. It's currently efficiency 5 on breaking 3, and then I have an efficiency 4 on breaking 3, and I have an efficiency 4 book. But
no fortune. That was fortune even in the game at this point.
I think so. Which would be helpful with the diamond gathering, but now I'm at 34, so I should actually be good. Now
Levels?
I just have to do in diamonds.
34 diamonds?
Yeah.
Oh, total?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I just made my full set.
I'm shy.
And I have 2 diamond picks, technically.
I need 5 more diamonds so that I can get my full set.
I hear you. Is that you walking around outside my house, or is there a creeper lurking?
I think you probably got a lurker.
Time to run. Run away from the house and then turn and look. I was going to say, I could hear something like walking on grass. But I'm trying to remember where we were before I cut you off.
We were talking about... Shoot, I don't remember either. It was good. It was like, we were talking about like stuff that's been challenging but good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like anything in ministry, it's always going to be a challenge, but there's always going to be like so much good. We were also talking about Breakout and how like high school ministry works.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about Breakout.
And part of the thing with that is I waited a year to start that. 1, because our kids asked for it, and 2, it's also just helpful to have like a certain level of like trust built up with parents too.
Yeah, before you're asking their kids to stay late at youth group.
Yeah.
Which is wise.
Yeah, and it's been a very like what's it called? Yeah, Breakout has been incredibly helpful for our group. It's been really good at like coaxing kids out of their shell. We had a really, really crazy one a couple nights ago where it was just kids who were so like ready to open up and like talk about hard things and have deep conversations with people who they really at this point only know through youth group.
Yeah.
And to see kids be comfortable enough in a youth group setting where like they're willing to like trust you with hard things like that is
which is huge.
Very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm working on trying to market a couple events, working on making sure this ministry stays working and like stays active and is just continually bringing people toward Christ. I'm having to remind myself that my vision for like what I want to have youth group look like may not be what Christ wants my ministry to look like, and I have to be 1, okay with that, and 2, I have to be super like conscientious of that. Like, hey, my plans may not work, and if there's something that is working but it's like not what I had planned for, I need to be okay with that because that's what God's plan for this ministry is.
Yeah, I feel like that's really easy to forget sometimes because it's so easy to just get caught up in what I want to do and how I think things should go, and this is it. It would be so much better if it went like this, and well, it's not our ministry, you know, like it's something that we're in charge of and leading, but we're not ultimately over the whole thing. Like we're just like doing one little part, and if we try to reshape the ministry to fit how we want it to look, then that can very easily all of a sudden become something that isn't how God wants it to look, which is important to remember. That's a good reminder even for me, because that's been something I've been trying to think through. Being frustrated with different
really
aspects of our group, not like any of the people, but just some of the environment and things that we have to deal with not meeting in our own space and stuff like that. And it's easy to forget that it's not my ministry, it's God's. Yeah, that's good.
And also, like, it's also just good to think about, like, hey, is this a ministry that if God called me to, I would be comfortable just getting up and leaving and going somewhere else where God has called me?
Yeah.
And that's sobering because it's like, so you feel a little bit of ownership for your group, right?
Yeah.
That's like,
Which is good. It's important to feel some level of ownership and responsibility for them. But again, you have to trust that if you're not there, God will still work in their lives.
exactly, yeah, and that's huge, dude. That's like something that we have to be so conscientious of, because especially like in our jobs, which like God could call me at any. I'm. It's maybe a little bit different for you because you're married in your ministry, but I'm not, and it's one of those things where God could at any moment call me to drop what I'm doing, move halfway across the country, and serve Him doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know for me, I'm not called into missions. Missions is not something that like gets me going as much as it does other people, like foreign missions or anything like that. But if that's something that God decides, like, I mean, I'm sure now that I've said that, that probably opens me up to it. But it's like,
Never say never.
could be something God calls me into. Yeah, never say never. And it's like, if God calls me there, I got to answer that call.
Yeah.
If God calls me to a place that isn't Northwest Iowa, I got to answer that call. And
Yep.
I can make all the plans in the world. Like, I can say, like, my plan is that I'm going to stay here for X number of years, and then after that's done, I'll move.
Yeah. But that's just not realistic at a certain point because, again, like you said, we have to be ready to go. Oh, shoot.
I'm watching chat for death messages.
I'm gonna die to angry pigmen because of guests. Again. Hey Frank, welcome. You joined up right as I was about to die. We did a little Frank shout out at the beginning. You might have missed it.
You get out?
Frank shout out. I'm currently hiding in the wall.
You need me to come save you?
I should be fine. I've got enough blocks. The problem was all of a sudden I had guests shooting at me as well. Oh.
And let me guess, you hit a fireball that deflected into a pigman.
Yes. I'm currently sitting at 3.5 hearts in the wall. Yikes. I'm trying to get rid of my saturation so I can eat again. And the problem is some of them are babies, so like I can't even really like fully just peek it. And the ghast is still there.
So that gas could just break down your wall anytime.
And they're like outside of my render distance too.
I'll come save you if you need it.
I should be. I'm trying to just remember what I'm dealing with here. If I can kill the ghast, I'll be fine.
You have a bow and arrow? I'm not watching stream. What just happened?
I'm so dead. I'm so dead. The gas just blew up all the netherrack around me, and all of a sudden a bunch of pigmen started swarming me, and I got the 2 hearts again.
Gosh.
Do
you need a teleport?
No.
Good. Because I'm not giving it to you.
Good. The other problem is that pigmen can swim through lava. And can
they swim at like normal speed?
Yes. And I can hear lava in the walls around me, so I'm currently just trying to mine away through the wall. It all of a sudden became very stressful. Anyways.
Well, that's literally that's playing Minecraft, dude. It's always stressful.
I was about to get Philzed. What's the anger radius for pigmen again?
I don't know.
I feel like it's like 2 chunks.
As somebody who dies to pigmen regularly, I don't know.
I should have died. I don't even know how that angered him. It's like that hardcore world we had where gas blew up a fireball at me. I didn't even try to deflect it or anything, but it exploded and damaged pigmen, and they all got angered on me. That was terrible.
That was an awful night. I remember
get out
that.
here. Alright, I think I'm out.
How hard could it be to find 1 diamond?
Now it's mission, how do I get back to the portal? Are these pigmen angry at me? Shoot, I just heard another ghast. Nope, I'm not waiting around to find out. Running away, running away. Oh, that is a huge drop. Wait, is that a... Oh gosh, this is... Could you just go into the nether and let me know what the coordinates are?
Oh gosh, dude, I don't know. I am so deep underground in a mine right now.
I see a fortress, but I don't know if it's our fortress.
I have noticed our fortress has a lot of bridges.
Yeah. Well, this one looks... Oh gosh, I hear another ghast. Why are there so many ghasts? Ah! Run, 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 run.
Dude.
I wouldn't have really cared if I died, but I currently have 23 levels on me.
Oh, that's a lot of levels. I have 29 right now, and I'm anticipating getting as many as I can.
Yeah. Alright. I am near a fortress. But again, is this our fortress? It looks crazy enough to be.
Zach just texted the Discord and says talking about exactly what we think he'd be talking about from looking at Facebook.
That's awesome. I'm guessing our fortress is somewhere near 0-0-ish. Right? Would that be?
That's... Yeah, usually the nether spawn's close to there.
Except for...
Just go to the fortress, it couldn't hurt. I'm actually coming... I found 6 more diamonds, so I'm coming out of the mines now.
I mean, I'm at this big fortress that I think is ours. But I'm not entirely sure. It seems all over the place enough to be ours. Because we have just an absolutely obscene fortress.
At portal spawn too. That was a really, really lucky portal spawn.
It really was. Oh my gosh, I forgot. No, why are there so many ghasts?
Alright, I'm coming to save you.
Okay, I just need to know the chords.
I just found the hole that I dug down here, and I just got a pillar up, and I'm good.
Oh, nice. I'm just running around.
And I hit level 30 too, so it's one of the things where it's like...
One way is a ghast, the other way is about 4 wither skeletons. I guess I go this way.
Okay, I'm on my way out.
Okay.
Saving Private Jacob. Okay, here's one for you. There's a youth pastors podcast I listen to where one of the things they do for all their guests is they try to paint a picture of what the guest was like as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Which I figured for the nature of what we're doing on this is something that could actually be pretty helpful for this podcast too.
Yeah.
So what was your sense of humor like as a teenager, and how has that carried over to today?
I feel like my sense of humor now is fairly similar to when I was younger. Very much like in the kind of dry. I get maybe dry is not the right term. I guess more snarky. Sarcastic. And part of that was just because I was very shy and introverted. So I wasn't like the one running around making all the really loud jokes. Like I wouldn't say that I was like the clown, but that was more just because I was awkward and shy. But
You had no desire to be a clown.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want all that attention. And I still feel like I generally don't.
Who were some like big shapers of your sense of humor back in the day?
Honestly, Shrek and like early Minecraft YouTube were both huge influences on my sense of humor, for better and worse. You know, it again, for better or worse, probably more for worse at that point. But that was, gosh, I still am just roaming, trying to find. I'm in the fortress, but
Okay, I just got home. I'm gonna drop off my diamonds and then come save you, because if I lose my diamonds saving you, I'm killing you.
Thank you, sir. Well, guess what? I just found 3 more diamonds in a chest.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
So you describe your like kind of sense of humor, so I kind of understand like the direction that this is going.
No. So, my sense of humor was hooked. Like, I had a terrible sense of humor. Like, I thought dumb things were funny. When I never was like a super funny kid, but I always thought I was. One of those like kids at youth group.
Yep.
I had to try to be funny. Whereas people like my brother, who's like very naturally funny and it comes super easy to him.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be like that. It's not who I am. And again, as I've learned more of my own personality, hang on.
The Nether was definitely a lot scarier at this point. Negative 4830. Yeah, okay, so I'm going in the right direction then. I just ended up going a really roundabout way, and I was in the wrong fortress that whole time. They then ended up dragging me further away.
Oh, you found 4 diamonds out of that. I'm glad you lived, brethren. But yeah, my sense of humor was a weird one. So it's like, I never thought I was all that funny. And then when I was about like a freshman in high school, I discovered iFunny.
Oh gosh. The worst.
This was an early years of iFunny. This was like before iFunny had the reputation for just being super outrageous and gross.
Yeah.
It was like in the infancy stage of it when they actually moderated it and they actually tried to like keep iFunny like a little bit normal.
Yeah.
Obviously it was iFunny, so it was not normal.
Yeah, it was still iFunny.
And it gave me a really weird like so my sense of humor was shaped by like the memescape of 2016. It was shaped by the memescape of 2016. It was shaped by the theater kids that I spent my time around.
Yeah.
Because I still was in and like theater kid humor it's whatever. I found it acceptable in those theater kid circles. And since I wasn't willing, I grew up like a pastor's kid, and so like my sense of humor, just because I was a pastor's kid, never entirely clicked with like what other people's senses of humor were, as in gross.
Yeah.
And that made me uncomfortable growing up, and so I was never like,
what?
That's awful.
146 negative 111. I genuinely I didn't even realize I was that low on health there.
Oh, did you just jump?
No, I was just making my way to the Nether. Just my levels. Yeah, I'm watching it currently on stream. Yep, I didn't realize I was. I wonder if some of my armor broke right there. That's all right. Sorry, continue.
No, so that's kind of what shaped my early senses of humor. It was a weird sense of humor. Like, I just had a strange sense of humor in general as a kid, like super shaped by memes, shaped by a lot of like the theater people that I spent my time around. Which is partially why I don't want to. I tell people I wasn't a theater kid anymore.
Yeah.
Or I just don't tell people I was, because some people will hear that and be like, "Oh wow, awesome," and other people will hear that and be like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna full send it and enchant my diamond boots.
Oh, gosh, not even doing books.
No.
I'm full sending it with just 3 stacks of cobblestone into the Nether to try to find my stuff.
We're awesome. So yeah, that shaped my early sense of humor, but also like people I was around. Like I was around enough funny people where like I could like scrape by. Like my youth pastor was a really funny guy, and
Yeah.
I looked up to him a lot back then. So it was one of those things where like his sense of humor kind of became my sense of humor. I tried really hard not to pick up on like projectile protection 4, which actually in this version isn't that bad, and with the amount of skeletons I encounter, whatever. And Unbreaking 3, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was me as a kid. It was a very interesting time to be a kid back then.
Yeah.
I found my niche in like the theater kid groups. Not like the theater kid groups. I considered myself like a kid who was in theater, not like a theater kid.
Which there is a big difference.
There's a very big difference.
Oh gosh, I don't have any sprint. Oh gosh, I'm cooked.
Is your stuff cooked?
I didn't have any food.
I also don't have any food right now. I have a stack of rotten flesh.
I can't believe I died like that. Give me a random idea. What kind of random idea? Yikes. Yeah, so
yeah, and so how my sense of humor is like developed over time. Obviously, like I'm influenced easily by the people around me, which is a good thing when I'm around really great people, but not a great thing when I'm around like awful people.
Yeah.
Good influences on me, like in that regard. Like obviously, my youth pastor was a good influence on me growing up as a teenager. I was also a camp kid.
Yeah.
I think that was ultimately kind of like the high school like identity that I had placed myself in.
Yeah.
I placed myself in the camp kid like zone. It's like I don't like being in Iowa. I like being at my camp in Wisconsin, so I made that like my thing. I was like, basically, I'm just going to have that be my circle of friends, and high school will just be I wait until I can go back to camp.
Yeah.
Which I think was good. I made friends at camp who ultimately were big forces of like change on my sense of humor, helped me grow up a little bit there. Once I got off of iFunny and away from the 2016 like memescape, that was also really good for me. Because that was a terrible influence. But yeah, like we're talking crap like "Here Come Dat Boy" was like something that like I would unironically say to people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a different season of life. I mean, I don't necessarily see myself as somebody who had like a ton of friends growing up. I had like people that I was like cool with, and I had my friends from camp. But like as far as high school went, like my younger brother and my younger sister, they totally had that in a way that I didn't. Like my brother Aiden, who graduated, was like an extremely well-liked figure in his class. Like he was somebody who like got along with everybody. He was somebody who knew what was going on, and he was just like he was with it. Like he had a good high school experience. My sister had a good high school experience too, but my sister was also a teenage girl who was considered pretty in her class. So generally when that's the case, because you grew up around a bunch of people who are really shallow in high school, that's just your good experience no matter what. And even like looking back, I think my sister would kind of say like, that really wasn't as good an experience as I thought it was. I really didn't have that. I struggled to find my place in high school. I think I kind of like developed the most like emotionally and like mentally and like my sense of humor. Like my personality, I think developed more at camp than anything else. But then in terms of like me finding like my really good friends, college was really, really good for me. Because like I went into college and like my people in college were like you, Jingle, Lauren, Nathan and Jared and Luca. And a lot of those guys, honestly, like I still talk to pretty frequently. Like guys who I'm still pretty tight with. And honestly, those were my good friends. Like so, my sense of humor is shaped a lot by guys like Nathan and guys like Luca. Like where you can be goofy, but you're not like pushing the envelope with everything that you're saying, which I think is really important. Yeah, and granted, like there's some growth points too. Like I'm pretty sure, like for most of my time at Emmaus, people doubted my ability to read.
All my stuff is gone. I just reached the spot I died.
Oh no! What? How much? What all did you have on you?
I don't even remember.
Did you have all your diamonds?
No, I only had the 3 diamonds I found in the fortress on me. Ah, but now I lost
So sad.
all my levels. Spain.
Well, you only would have gotten 7 back anyway.
Yeah.
I'm at 2 right now. This is a nice hard reset to the world.
It really is. The other painful thing that I lost there was like all of my food. Because I kept bringing it with so I would actually make it. Oh well.
Unfortunate, but yeah, I think my sense of humor ultimately developed far more at college than I allowed it to when I was in high school, which is, I think, a good thing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a picture of who I was as a kid growing up, and kind of a picture of what my sense of humor was. Like, things that I liked and enjoyed. Let's see. I really liked OG Fortnite. Like, back then, it was like OG Fortnite. I loved it. Played that a lot. I grew up kind of on a little bit of Minecraft YouTube, same as you. But also, like, what else did I grow up on? I grew up on, like, in an era where, like, everybody wanted to be a part of, like, the little inside jokes that would form and, like, go around in places. And so I placed a lot of value in, like, being a part of, like, kind of unfunny inside jokes.
I could see that.
Yep, and a little bit of that. I still enjoy that to an extent.
Yeah. Unfunny inside jokes are funny sometimes. I love a good unfunny joke, but it has to be
and so what was
timed.
what was one of your bits back then that you did?
I honestly was just a loud equals funny kind of person for a while, like, because I was similar with you, where like I really came into my humor and found my friends at camp, and so I was just like screams. Genuinely, like, I feel like I just made a lot of funny noises, and that was like my sense of humor at camp. Because I do feel like there was a huge divide from. Oh, I lost my power bow.
That's painful.
But I do
Times
feel
Jacob has lost a good bow in a Minecraft world, specifically a BibleCraft world.
Twice in BibleCraft worlds is crazy. At least this time it wasn't because I was being stupid. Well, I kind of was, but...
Oh. Well, there's a zombie villager in the Nether Fortress now.
W. This rain is just like my emotions right now.
Yeah. Also, you kind of grew up like with the same like. I was a full blown like AJR fanboy too. Like that was my favorite artist, and so I like made that part of my personality too. It was like
I was gonna say music was a lot of my personality. Like NF, 21 Pilots, basically like emo stuff was always like that's what I did.
Emo music was never like my bread and butter.
Oh, I know.
I grew up on John Bellion was kind of like the introduction into like music for me. So like in 2016 I started listening to music that wasn't like my mom's CCM stuff.
Yeah. Which is a good thing to do.
Absolutely. I'm rebuilding a little bit of where our nether portal is located, like our nether portal room and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. I have a lot of nether blocks too, if you need some. I'm just turning off the rain because I don't like it.
Amen.
Amen, brethren. Yeah, and I feel like that's the natural progression as you age, as you discover your own music, you discover your own interests, you discover your own senses of humor beyond your parents. That is just where a lot of us just get our sense of humor when we're younger, because that's what we're around. And so that's where we learn it a lot. Oh my goodness, it's my favorite podcaster, Anthony. Mr. Moody himself.
Moody Talk Radio.
Every time I get
Moody,
into
Moody
Genesis,
Talk Radio. Have you ever heard of Emmaus University Talk Radio?
Emmaus University announced today. WW, at least for most of us who aren't weird and stuck up
is there
about
anything else
Bible
you want to
names.
say? I feel like we've kind of like hit our catching up phase in this. In this.
I was gonna say we could probably end it there. No, I haven't. Yeah, that was just announced today. Every time I get in Genesis car, it's always set to Moody Radio, and we don't know how to change it. So every time I'm like hoping to randomly hear Anthony's voice, but I haven't yet. But yeah, so we might end tonight's Minecraft there again, since Joe wasn't here and Ben wasn't here, and we're both a little tired. End it there. But I want to thank you all for joining. Crazy Craft will keep you posted at some point. I think we're doing Fortnite on Thursday. Otherwise,
Mhm.
BibleCraft should be back next week. Someday, trust. Yes, sir. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave off. So we'll
All
see
right.
y'all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.